A new rumor says the entire plot for Avengers Doomsday has been leaked online. That's right, the whole script out there for anybody to read. Spider-Man, Wolverine dead in the first few minutes, is it true? Folks will tell you, and whether or not these are the kinds of things you should believe.
I couldn't have him thinking I wanted to be there.
Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back superhero fans. It's time to dive into whether or not this entire plot for Avengers Doomsday leaking online is real or not. Today we're going to be going to comicbookmovie.com. As we dive in, folks, with the kind of analysis you need, click the like button, and here we go. As we read this, I want to remind you that your Pal Pro has something like a 92-93% accuracy rating when it comes to scoops and rumors. We don't do those as much anymore, but in the last year, You'll recall that we repeatedly said Paramount is going to buy Warner Brothers. And you'll recall that the mainstream, lamestream, going extinct dinosaur media told you that no, Netflix is going to buy them. And we've been hearing that since October. No, it's Netflix. And we never wavered. We never changed. Folks, they're not putting our names up in the marquees to say Pro was right, Valiant was right. Nope. And why? Folks, they don't write articles on the stuff we do because we're just too darn accurate for them. Sober, I tell you. So they write these articles on things that, might be a little bit on the fluff side. Why? To get clicks? But don't go away yet. I'll explain and we'll weigh in what's true, what's not out of all of this. There's plenty to go through.
I'm sorry I didn't do none of it right.
Comic Book Movie says Doomsday plot leak breakdown. All your biggest questions about the movie answered. Okay, so Josh Wilding is going for this and says a full Avengers Doomsday plot leak has surfaced and we're now breaking down all of its biggest reveals to bring you a definitive guide to what to expect from the upcoming movie. I gotta say, if you don't know this already, spoilers are possible here as we go in through this, okay? But I want you to also understand, some of the rumors in this are so salacious that there's a monetary incentive, I would say, to many of these websites to cover this, right? Right? Maybe. So just consider that as we read through. It says, yes, the plot of Avengers Doomsday really has leaked online in full. Okay, well, it's decided. Okay, well, according to Josh Wilding, it's the real deal, man. With reshoots planned, we can expect some changes. And as always, there's likely a fair bit that's been lost in translation, as it's been passed from one person to the next. However, we've done some digging and have verified with at least 2 trustworthy sources that what you're about to read below is the real deal. Goes on to talk about the movie's opening. We're going to talk about all this, but first I got to say, folks, we've done our digging and we know where this comes from. It comes from right here. This is the first account that posted this, Majestic UCM. An account that I think has got about 10,000 followers, says all that's missing are the post-credit scenes. This is one of those scooper accounts. You remember My Time to Shine? So they got the full plot down here. We're going to read this, okay? We love comicbookmovie.com. They're the ones who are driving this because until it lands on a Google News certified website, really doesn't take off, right? But that gets it to the mainstream media. But this is where it started. So we're going to give Majestic UCM the due because that's what I think we should do. I think wherever it originally comes from, that's where we should go and we should give credit there. I do want to say, though, that as we read this, you need to have some salt ready. And the reason you need to have some salt ready is because Majestic UCM apparently has missed some stuff in the past. It says, scoops from Majestic UCM, the final battle of Avengers Doomsday is RDJ's Doctor Doom versus RDJ's Iron Man turned out to be fake. Could have told you that. Not surprising at all. It was debunked by both Nerd Tower, YouTube, and James Mackwell. Says, yep, Majestic is a fraud. Now, I don't think that makes Majestic a fraud. I would question anybody who thought that Iron Man was going to show up and beat down Doctor Doom in a finale with, like the Parent Trap. And it's probably not going to happen. So I would question anybody who runs that. But does it make him a fraud? No, everybody's got wins and misses and hits and losses. Everybody's got sources that get it right and get it wrong. I'll add one more thing to the pile as we get ready to talk about this. One more thing, and this is going to be teeny weeny itsy bitsy. Maybe I'll have to go to that other. Oh, folks, I apologize. We may have to go to the comic book movie website because this font is so small and it's an image. You know what? We'll stay with it. You zoom in if you need to, okay? The other thing I would say is I often question these so-called scoopers that are always featured in the websites. I sometimes question whether or not that's part of the industry. trying to get this stuff to go viral. And trying to get it to go viral, not because it's real, but because what would be better for Avengers Doomsday's chances at the box office this year than people actually talking about crazy rumors? Seems like that'd be right up Disney's alley, eh? All right, here's the full plot description from Avengers Doomsday. I'm going to read through this, and we'll weigh in on whether or not it's true as we go through it. Avengers Doomsday opens in New York City on Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's Earth. He's fighting Deadpool and Wolverine, who were sent there with a planet-killing bomb built by Beast to destroy Tobey's world in order to save their own universe from an incursion. Tobey battles Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who manages to plant the device. Wolverine stays behind when it goes boom, and both he and Tobey's Spider-Man, along with everything on that Earth, are nullified, deleted, gone. Deadpool escapes and returns to his own Earth, which we see in the distance. All right, so let's talk about that first, eh? This would be, if it's true, a colossal mistake, because we have one of two options here. And I think the Russo brothers surely are smarter than this. They just gotta be. Option number one is that these are not actually deaths because there are no deaths and thus there are no stakes. Okay? That's option number one. If option number one is true, nobody's going to care if anybody dies for the rest of the movies. We think it's going to be a trilogy, but if anybody dies in any of them, nobody cares because everybody comes back. Okay? Option number two is you actually killed two of the most popular characters in all of Marvel right off the bat. And they're taken completely off the deck to get to play with them again. And that will wipe out all anticipation and excitement you can imagine. There is a third option. There is. The third option is, well, there's a million more of those characters, those Hugh Jackman Wolverines and Tobey Maguire Spidermans running around because it's a multiverse. But that goes back to the same thing of there are no deaths. Because if you got a million of them running around, then anybody who dies doesn't matter because you got 999,999 more to go. So that doesn't work, eh? All right, so right off the bat, either this scoop is untrue or the Russo brothers are going to wipe out Marvel in the first 5 minutes because you need Hugh Jackman for the rest of the movies. You need him. And if Hugh Jackman goes out in the first 5 minutes that way, if that's how Hugh Jackman Wolverine ends this time, nobody's going to like that. Nobody's going to like that. And even worse, Tobey Maguire. You bring Tobey Maguire back after he just did his thing in No Way Home and taught the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, how to live and how to be, and you take all that away from him, you're going to have people walk out of the theater. That would be the last Jedi, Luke throwing the lightsaber away again. All right, it goes on to say, Charles Xavier watches the destroyed world below with sadness, but they had no choice. We then cut to Tony's funeral. Steve speaks with some of the heroes, including Ant-Man, before returning the stones. He goes back in time and chooses to stay with Peggy. They have a son, Jim. One day, Loki visits them. This is before the Loki Season 2 finale. He tells Steve about the TVA and warns him that they will soon prune this timeline because Steve was never meant to live there or have a son. Loki offers them a way out. He can take them to a universe where they don't exist and can live in peace, the Fantastic Four's universe. Before leaving, Loki gives Steve a special card to contact him. That is also possible. But if we're doing that, then we're going to be into a convoluted mess of trying to figure out when did this happen in Disney Plus shows that nobody watched. And come on, if the Russo brothers know what they're doing, we don't want to go back into the Disney Plus shows and try to explain this because nobody watched them. Nobody's going to go watch them. They're done with them. Steve and his family lived there for 10 years. We then see Dr. Doom visiting Sue and Franklin. They clearly know each other. Doom says he has come to speak with Reed. He warns him about the incursions and reveals their universe is next. He proposes a plan, but they must travel with him to Earth 616. Doom also asks Reed whether it's possible someone from another universe is living in theirs. They scan the planet and discover an anomaly. Steve and his family. Okay. I'll tell you, it's like the snake in the garden, right? I don't want to get biblical on you, but the best way that you can lie or the best way that you can have a scoop that's salacious but still has something you can hang your hat on when most of it turns out to be untrue, and maybe all of it's true. I don't know, right? I don't have the plot. The best way you can do that is to get some stuff right. And then, the more salacious stuff, it takes off, it's all over the web, but you can say, well, they reshot it, right? So this one seems to me, I would bet this is right. I would bet this is true. I would bet that Dr. Doom is visiting the Fantastic Four, and I would bet that, I bet that Sam Rogers, or not Sam Rogers, I would bet that Sam is there. Yeah, Steve Rogers. I'm sorry, folks. Yeah, I bet Steve is there. Sorry, it's hard to go from all these characters. We're at what, 500 in this movie? Steve Rogers probably there. Yeah. They confront Steve. Yep, I'm with you. Who recognizes them after living there for a decade. They explain the incursions and ask him to come to 616 to help convince the Avengers to trust Doom's plan. They travel there, and Steve successfully persuades the heroes to listen. Yep, that probably is right too. Next, they visit the X-Men's universe, but the X-Men are hostile. They've survived multiple incursions and trust no one. They assume the MCU heroes and the Fantastic Four have come to destroy them and attack. Reed and Doom explain their solution: to build massive cannons on each Earth that will permanently separate the universes and stop the incursions. They will split into teams, and each one will go to another Earth to build a cannon there. If that's going to be our build a MacGuffin, boy, that doesn't sound fun. Boy, it sounds silly. We're going to build giant cannons. That's just, I don't know. Could it be true? Maybe. But boy, it doesn't sound much fun. Meanwhile, Steve tells Thor he met a Loki who is still alive. Thor asks Steve to take him to him. Using Loki's card, they locate the TVA, but when they arrive, everyone is dead and Loki has had his heart ripped out. They realize Doom is responsible. Okay, well, that's possible. Is that how you want Loki to go out? You want Tom Hiddleston also gone, and you want him gone off screen? If they do that, a lot of people are going to be ready to walk out. And if the first part was true about Wolverine and Tobey Maguire being gone in the first 5 minutes, if these characters die, you can do that. They're big characters. That gives you reason to watch through to see, oh my gosh, what would possibly be worth them giving their life, right? Black Widow did that, right? Gamora did that, right? But if that happens off screen for a character that you've been watching for more than a decade, people are going to be mad, real mad. Steve goes back to confront Doom, who reveals his true plan to allow the incursions to happen so he can rebuild the multiverse in his own image and resurrect his dead family. So he's Mr. Freeze. He takes Steve to his castle in Latveria on his Earth. There, Steve meets Doom's followers, masked witches. One of them impersonates Peggy to manipulate him. Doom reveals that Steve's presence in their universe is what triggered their incursion because he didn't belong there. It also led to the death of Doom's family. Doom became obsessed with stopping the incursion, conducting dangerous experiments, one of which failed, killing his family and leaving him disfigured, forcing him to wear the armor and mask. And that's possible. It's an okay origin story. As revenge, Doom kills Steve's son in front of him. Nope. No way. There's no way. Folks, there is no way that Marvel is going to kill Steve Rogers' kid. Ain't going to happen. Nope. You know how much the animal stuff hurt? Because they're all about money. You know how much the animal stuff hurt Marvel in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? You know how much it reduced the box office, and they know it? They've done the surveys. They know how much that animal stuff really pulled the box office down and pulled how much people loved it down. You multiply that. Because I know, listen, we can watch John Wick do a lot of stuff to a lot of bad guys. But animals and kids, different ballpark. And kids, and especially when it's the kid of a hero, not going to happen. Too far, not going to happen. Doom announces that the Avengers are coming, and Latveria prepares for war. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the X-Men unite and march on Latveria. Thor prays to Odin, who sends an army from Valhalla to join the battle. Well, that would be cool. That'd be all right. A massive war erupts as the Earths begin to collide. Eventually, the universe crash into each other and are destroyed, killing everyone except for Doom. It's revealed that he stole Loki's powers off-screen. Using them, he creates Battleworld, resurrects everyone, and erases their memories. They believe Battleworld is all that has ever existed. We see them living new lives in this false reality. Doom sits on the throne as the Emperor of Battleworld, the end. It's possible. It's possible. We know we're going to go to Battleworld, right? We know that's where this thing's going. I think there's going to be a trilogy. We know that whenever you have these kind of movies, that the bad guy has got to win at the end of the first one. He has to, right? He's got to. Same thing as what we saw in the last Avengers duality, right? Remember Endgame, right? Remember Infinity War? So we know that it's going to end with Dr. Doom having beat him up badly. But is it going to end up where everybody is dead and then brought back again? And they're all in Battleworld? What's the point of it? What would be the point of that? So CBM is here. CBM talks about, leads us through all this. It's the same stuff here, okay? Is there anything else? They had something. Oh, they're also posting about My Time to Shine. I can now reveal that the photo they shared is the set where they shot a scene with Doom and his family in a lab during an experiment that kills him and damages his body. Okay, whatever. Who cares? I love this. Anyway, Josh Wilding, I like your glasses. That's what I can tell you. Nice shades, buddy. No, I mean it. I wish I had those shades. Those are cool shades. Those really are. Folks, there you go. Okay? That's what we've got so far. There's a lot of rumors out there about how much time they're going to give to Dr. Doom and all this kind of stuff. But what I can tell you is I'm not here to bat down all of this. That's not my job. This is an unfinished product, and they're going to do a lot of reshoots. They're going to do a ton of reshoots. How do we know they're going to do a ton of reshoots? Because they backed the movie up. They backed the movie up, right? They do reshoots. We know they're going to do reshoots. So if I weigh in and say, other than the son passing away, other than, Steve Rogers, who I guess is not going to be Captain America, we are hearing that. But, other than taking out his son, I mean, come on. That's a way to damage the box office. So I don't think they're going to do that. But for the most part, what I'll say is, it's fun to talk about this stuff. It's fun to weigh in on it. They're crazy if they do some of this stuff, and not in a good way, because financially, if you end Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Wolverine together, that's a heck of a way to start the movie. But you know what? It's a heck of a thing to kill whatever his name was. Snoke? What was his name? Snoke? In The Last Jedi? It's a heck of a thing to kill a villain in the middle of that movie, too. But it doesn't mean it was good. Because it wasn't. Because there really was no more story to go, and we had to bring... So you can do things that are, wow, I can't believe they did that. It doesn't mean that it's good to do that. And that would not be a wise thing for them to do whatsoever at all. Especially if all of this is going to reset everything and start a new MCU, because all of these characters, they're not throwaways, just like Luke Skywalker. They're not throwaways. If they don't get their happy endings, if they deserve it, if people have been following these characters sometimes for 20 years, and you use them as a throwaway in the first 5 minutes or off screen, people are going to be done, and they'll never come back again. I think the Russo brothers are smarter than that. I don't expect this to be the greatest movie ever, but I do expect it to be cogent and intelligently put together, especially when it comes to how do we make money and keep making money. I think they're at least that smart, because I watched Infinity War and Endgame. Folks, that is the vid for this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed it. It's nice to be back to talking about something new and not just Hollywood falling apart. But hey, this is one where I don't think you're going to get Tony Stark, but it might be Stark for the finances if they go through with all of this. Folks, click the like button. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, especially, is all this going to happen? Do you believe it? Is it untrue? I'd love to hear from you. And until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
I just found out to get WDW Pro's information, where he gets his sources. I can't believe he uses. Wilton!
What?
We got a job to do. It's easy to hack into WDW Pro's computer.
You're kidding me. That's awesome. You know any other stuff?
Yeah, just Jonas Campbell told me.
Sweet.
Said Pro underpaid him or something.
A few minutes later.
There. Oh, awesome. Whatever. All I gotta do is hack into this thing. It's gonna be so easy.
Yeah, this isn't
All
a
right,
hack.
grab this picture over here.
Leave it to me.
No, Wilson.
Job done. What?
No, all we had to do was use the picture because he uses Face Unlock. Now we gotta go to thatpartplace.com and sub to him and his team on YouTube.
Oh, well, I already did that because I'm smart.